Good morning, friends. This is Karan Kumar Das from Electrical Engineering Department from Temple City Institute of Technology and Engineering. So, last class we have discussed regarding the basic things about your electrical drives, and that was the introduction class, you can say. So, we have discussed that what is the need of drive system and what do you mean by electrical drives. So we have discussed that when the electrical motors are generally connected to the load for the motion control is called as your electrical drives. And apart from that, we have discussed the basic block diagram of your electrical drives, and today we will discuss about the detailed discussion about the basic block what we have studied in last class, right? So now moving to the next slide. So as we know, in last class what we have seen, in a drive system there should be a source, and that source should be connected directly to the power modulator, and power modulator is connected to the motors, that is your electrical motors, and motor shaft should be connected to the load. It may be your translational motion or rotational motion drive system, and one feedback path is also there which will collect some output datas, that is by using the sensors, and that output datas, from that output datas it will send the signal. That means the sensor will send the signal to the control unit, and control unit will send the command or will feed some input to the power modulator, and according to the command of the control units the power modulator will work, right? So what do you mean by source? So source is nothing but, as we are dealing with electrical drive system, it must be one AC source or DC source. If we will think about the AC source, then what we will see? In AC source you will find that AC, there are two kinds of AC sources. It may be your single phase or it may be your three phase, right? But in single phase we have two wired system, that means one phase line, one neutral line. So it is your phase, another one is the neutral, right? But in three phase system what we will see, you have three wires and one neutral terminal is there. So first one is R phase, second one is Y phase, and third one is B phase, and the last one is neutral, right? So there are two kinds of connection. It may be your delta connection or it may be your star connection. If it is star connection, then one neutral point is there at the center. If it is not the star connection, so it is your R phase, this is Y phase, this is B phase, and mid term is the neutral. And if it is a delta connection, it is not having any neutral terminal, only R, Y and B phase are there. So each and every phases are connected. One phase is connected to another and the other terminal is connected to other one terminal of the second source, right? So in AC system it is your single phase or three phase. So if you will think about the single phase, it may be your 230 volt AC system, or you can also find some lower level of voltage in AC system. By using the transformer we can step down this 230 volt into various values of AC, right? And in case of your three phase system, you will find different kind of electrical voltages, right? So three-phase system will start from 400 volt AC. You can also find the step-up voltages just like your 11 kV, 33 kV, 66 kV, 110 kV, next 220 kV, and 400 kV is also available in Orissa, right? Next one. So if one motor is connected to the AC system, then it is your AC drive system, or you can also say AC electrical drive system. And if one motor is connected to DC system, then it is called as your DC drive system, right? Now, so according to the connection, according to the power supply, the AC or electrical drives can be divided into two categories. One is your AC drive system, another one is the DC drive system. Now, after the source, what is the function of your power modulator? Suppose one motor is there which can be driven by using your DC source, right? So source is there, this is your source, this one is the power modulator, let's say power modulator, and if it is connected to the motor, this is my motor part, and this motor is connected to load, right? So source, power modulator, motor, and it is connected to load. Now what is the function of this power modulator? So let us consider the motor which is connected in electrical drive system is a DC motor. Let us consider it is your DC motor, right? So in case of your DC motor, what you can say, if the source is AC, okay, if the source will supply AC energy to the power modulator, then what will happen? That DC motor we can't operate the DC motor by using this AC source directly to the system, right? So in that case, what you have to do, you have to change the DC, we have to change the AC input source into DC voltages, right? So for that only you need to connect one converter. So inside the power modulator, as in the last class we have also discussed, inside the power modulator we have three things. One is your converter, second part is your variable impedance, third part is your switching circuits. So let us consider the converter first. In the converter, this converter is generally used to convert AC to DC, either AC to DC or DC to AC or AC to AC or DC to DC, right? So according to the requirement of the electrical motor, you need to convert the input voltage supply to the desired output voltage supply. Let's consider in the first case, if the motor which is connected to the load or in the electrical drive system, it operates in DC. So what you can say, if input is your source is having AC, and if motor which is connected is working on DC, then you need to convert this AC source into DC1, right? So in that case also you have to go for the power modulator. So inside the power modulator you will find the converter, and converter, it can change either AC to DC or DC to AC or AC to AC or DC to DC. Similarly, if a motor is connected to the load or electrical drive system which will operate in AC voltage, and if your input source is DC and motor works on AC, you need to convert that DC into AC, right? In that case also we need to convert the DC voltage into AC voltages. Similarly, if input is AC, that means if source is having your AC voltage or source is AC1, and you need to, the motor which is connected to the electrical drive system, that is also working on AC, but the condition is that it is the AC motor which is connected to the electrical drive. In this case, if this motor or AC motor will working as a variable drive resources or variable drives, in that case you need to change the values of input AC supply. So if it is a variable AC drive, if the motor is a variable AC drive, then you need to convert the input AC, that is your constant AC voltage, into variable AC voltage, right? So in that case also, to change the constant AC input into variable AC input, it may increase or it may decrease. In that case also you need to go for the AC to AC converter. Similarly, in DC, variable DC drive system, if input is your DC and you need variable DC, then you have to convert that fixed DC into variable DC source, right? So in generally you can say this AC to DC is also called as, this conversion is called as rectification, right? Rectification. And second one is called as inverter operation or inversion. Third one is called as voltage regulator, right? So last class we have discussed what is voltage regulator. So one TRIAC chip is available in market, TRIAC, which is the best example. You will find the example of your TRIAC, that is a fan regulator, household fan regulator, electronic regulator, is the best example of your TRIAC or your AC to AC drive system. And the last one is the DC to DC, it is called as the chopper, right? So it may boost the voltage, it may step down the voltage, or that is called as the buck operation. Okay, next part. So inside the power modulator we have one part is the converter, second part is the variable impedance. So that variable impedance, what is the function of your variable impedance? So last class again we have discussed the variable resistance are generally used for the control of low cost AC or DC drives for dynamic braking of drives, right? So for low cost AC drive or DC drives, we can go for this variable resistance, right? So as the resistance is connected, so impedance terms is associated with the resistance. Again, the liquid rheostats are also used for the high voltage application, which is known as your sleep regulators, right? So when the resistance are connected, it may be your variable resistance or it may be your liquid rheostats. when it is connected to the drive system for the regulation of your input voltage into variable output AC voltage or DC voltage, that particular system is called as your variable impedance system. So it is also coming under your power modulator. Now next one is the switching circuits. So what is the function of switching circuits? To change the motor connection for multi-quadrant operation. So what is multi-quadrant operation? That we will discuss in the next few classes, or I will discuss in 2 to 3 classes, after 2 to 3 classes, right? So again, next one, to change the motor circuit parameters, that means your voltage and current. Whenever the voltage parameter or current parameter we need to change, or the power we need to change, we have to go for various circuit arrangement or switching circuit is needed. Next one, to operate the motor in an appropriate sequence, right? Suppose the motor is rotating in clockwise manner and we need to change the direction of the motor in anti-clockwise. So in that case also we need to go for the switching circuit, right? So 3 basic things we have learned here. One, the circuit is which is connected, that switching circuit, it is very useful for the multi-quadrant operation. Next one, for the changing of motor circuit parameters. Next one, to operate the motors in appropriate sequence. And next one, to provide interlocking to avoid maloperation. So when, for example, in an industry when there is a maloperation happened, so during that time we need to interlock the system. That means we need to stop the system, right? Or you can also say in abnormal condition also you need to stop the rotating system or electrical drive system. So in that case also these switching circuits are required, right? So the basic things what we have learned here in power modulator, there are 3 fundamental things are there. One is a converter, switching circuits, and variable impedance. So converters are generally connected to convert one certain input, it may be your DC or AC, into another values of your DC or AC by using this AC to AC converter or DC to DC converter. And next one, and certain AC or DC into variable AC or variable or constant AC or DC voltages by using the AC to DC converter or DC to AC converter, right? And variable impedance, what is the function of your variable impedance? In variable impedance, we need to change the input fixed voltage into variable output voltages. So for low cost AC or DC drives, you need to connect the rheostat resistance or lower level values of your resistance. And for your high power application, we can go for the liquid rheostat, which is connected for the high power applications. And the third one is the switching circuit. There are very useful work of this switching circuit. That means by using this switching circuit we can operate our system in 4 quadrant, right? 4 quadrant, first, second, third and 4 quadrant operation is there. And to change the circuit parameters, that is your voltage and current. And third one, to operate the motor in an appropriate sequence, it may be your clockwise or it may be your anti-clockwise. Fourth one, you can provide the interlocking, and the fifth one, to stop the motor during abnormal conditions, right? So this is all about the function of your power modulator. So without power modulator, we can't operate the electrical motors directly by using this AC source or DC source. Why? Because suppose you can ask the question, if input is your AC and one machine which is connected, it is also works in AC voltage and it is a constant AC voltage motor. So there is no variable operation happening at the output end, and input is also our constant AC we are getting, and that can be directly connected to the motor or not. That may be the question. Without power modulator, if the input is a constant AC voltage, I can directly supply this AC voltage to motor or not. Yes, you can directly supply, but the problem may happens that whenever there is a slight variation at the input end, input AC voltage, it may maloperate your AC drives. So subsequently, the load which is connected to this motor, there is a variation in the load speed. So for that, the production or the useful work will be hampered, right? So for that only, the power modulators will be connected to the AC source or DC source to get well regulated AC voltage or DC voltage, right? So next one. So let us consider about the first part of your power converter, right? So power modulator is having one part is the converter. So what is the converter? What is the function of your converter? So converter is a device which will work as a fixed voltage and fixed frequency AC. It will supply fixed voltage and fixed frequency AC voltage. Next one, it can also supply fixed voltage DC. So these are the basic two things we will get from the converter. So that is the function. And again, what we have discussed, there are four kinds of converters: AC to DC converter, DC to AC converter, AC to AC converter, and DC to DC converters. So first case, we should go for AC to DC converter. So in AC to DC converters, what we are seeing here, the first figure, this one, it is called as your diode rectifier. You will find it is called as your diode rectifier. The first part is your diode rectifier. So what is the function of your diode rectifier? So diode, as you have studied, diode is an uncontrolled device. It is not having any control terminal. That means gate terminal is not associated with the diode. So that's why it is called as uncontrolled device. Okay. So as it is an uncontrolled device, so when the fixed voltage is single phase or three phase AC is given, by using this diode rectifier, we can convert that input AC voltage, single phase or three phase, into fixed voltage of DC level, right? So we can change the input AC voltage into fixed DC voltage by using the diode rectifier. We can't change the output DC voltage level into various values, because as we are connected here the diode rectifier, it is not the thyristor based rectifier. So it is, as it is uncontrolled, so we can't control the output DC voltage by using this diode rectifier. So that's why it is called as your uncontrolled rectifier. Similarly, in the second case, if we will go for the fully controlled thyristor rectifier, so now we are getting the fully controlled. That means by using the thyristor, as the thyristor is having one gate terminal, so fixed voltage AC single phase or three phase can be converted into variable level of your DC voltages by using the fully controlled thyristor rectifier. So all these rectifier, inverter, chopper and your voltage regulator we have studied in power electronics. So these are the applications in the electrical drive system. Third one is the half controlled thyristor rectifier. We have also studied. So by using this half controlled thyristor rectifier, you can change the values of your fixed AC voltage, it may be your single phase or three phase, into variable voltage of DC. Similarly, by using the transformer, tap changing transformer, that means one fixed AC voltage will be given to one transformer. So if it is a tap changing transformer, so input, let us consider this is the single phase AC input we are providing here. By using the tap changer, what we will get the output voltage. Let's draw the figure again. Okay, so it is a tapping point. So this is my phase terminal, this is phase, this is neutral, this is single phase input voltage, this is your input side, and this neutral is common to input as well as output. So load should be connected here, right? So this is my load. So if single phase supply is connected to this transformer, so one tap changing transformer is there. So by connecting this tap changing transformer, we will get variable AC output voltage from the transformer. It is your AC, variable AC. Now by using the diode rectifier, we can also get variable DC voltages, because at the input end we have the regulation, by we can change the input voltage by using the transformer, and that variable AC voltage can be converted into variable DC voltage by using this diode rectifiers. So directly we can't, in first case directly we can't change the fixed AC voltage into variable DC voltage. So that's why one transformer or tap changing transformer is connected to the input AC voltages, and by using this transformer we can get the variable AC output, and this variable AC output, when it is fed to the diode rectifier, we will get the variable DC source. Next one, in fifth case, if the input is your fixed AC voltage, and by using a diode rectifier we will also get a fixed DC voltage, and by using one chopper we can get also the variable DC voltage. That means this fixed AC can be changed into variable DC source by using the chopper, right? So this is another case. Next one, if the fixed AC voltage will fed to the rectifier with self commutated devices, we can also get the variable voltage of DC source, right? Self commutated means one proper switching sequence will be given to this rectifier for the commutation of these switches, and by using that switching sequence, or by the commutation of their devices, we will get variable DC voltages. Next one, by using, if variable DC is required, you can also go for this arrangement. So in this arrangement, what it has shown, a fixed voltage AC is given to a AC motor. So this is my exciter part, that means this is a field winding. So by changing the input field winding voltages, so it is a variable DC, you are seeing here. So it is the variable DC, right? The arrow mark shows it, this field can be varied. So by changing the field magnitude, we can change the speed of this AC motor. So as the input is fixed AC voltage, but by changing this field magnitude, we can change the speed of the AC motor. As the speed of the AC motor will change, then this DC generator speed also changes, for which the voltage or the generated voltage value can be changed. So by using this arrangement, we can get the variable DC voltages. Coming to the next. So in this case also, how the voltage, variable DC voltage can be generated? The same arrangement here, one fixed AC voltage is given to AC motor, but here you can see in this case it is AC motor with variable field arrangement, but in this case it is only AC motor is connected and AC supply is given to the AC motor, and this AC motor shaft is connected to one alternator. This is the alternator, and this alternator is now having a variable field. So you can connect this field here, or you can connect the field at the alternator part. So in first case the variable field is connected to the AC motor, whereas in second case the variable field is connected to the alternator, right? So as the field is varying, so the output voltage will vary at this end, or the output of the alternator will vary. So now by using a simple diode rectifier, as the input is varying, we will get the subsequent variable DC voltage at the output of the DC rectifier, right? Next one, how to get the variable DC voltages. So in this case also, one fixed AC voltage is given to magnetic amplifier, and magnetic amplifier is again directly connected to the diode rectifier, and diode rectifier will produce the variable DC voltage. As the how it is producing, we know that diode is an uncontrolled device, so it can't generate the variable DC voltage directly. So for that only one magnetic amplifier is connected. So as the input is fixed, by the application of this magnetic amplifier, it is producing the output voltage of variable AC. So as the variable AC is connected to the diode rectifier, so at any instant, depending upon the value of the voltage, this output DC voltage will generate, right? Next one, fixed voltage 3-phase AC voltage here is connected to the amplidyne machine, right? In this case also we will get the variable DC voltages, right? So voltage can be varied, it can be up, it can be down. So all are the applications. In this case, what we have seen, the fixed AC voltage can be converted into fixed DC voltage, and in all other cases we are finding the variable DC voltages. Each and every cases we are finding the variable DC voltages, right? So these are the arrangements by which we can get either the fixed DC voltage if input is AC, or the variable DC voltages if input is AC, right? Next one, the next part is your DC to AC converter. So it is generally called as your inverter. This is called as your inverter, right? So what is the function of your inverter? In our household devices we are generally using the inverters. So inverter is having one battery should be there, because battery is the source, right? So battery terminals are connected to the inverter, and inverter is connected to the electrical loads. Now what is the function of your inverter and how the inverter operation can happen? So to convert DC into AC voltages, if your input voltage is fixed DC, that means your battery. So battery will give us the fixed DC voltage, and if one step wave semiconductor inverter Okay, stepped wave semiconductor inverter is connected here. You will get variable frequency, fixed voltage, AC current. Okay, variable frequency, fixed voltage, current of AC or AC current. It is called as the stepped wave inverter. This is one case. Next one, you can also go through the PWM inverter or semiconductor inverter. What is the full form of your PWM? It is P stands for pulse, W stands for width, M stands for modulation. Pulse width modulation. Okay, so you can go for the pulse width modulation techniques for the generation of your variable frequency, variable voltage AC current, right, from the fixed DC input voltages. Now third one, which is called as the cycloconverter. So what is the function of your cycloconverter? So cycloconverter will produce different AC level voltages at different frequency, right? So in three cases, all the three cases, what we have seen, the fixed DC voltage, here the fixed frequency and fixed voltage AC can be converted into different level of your, in third case we will discuss later. In first two cases, what we have seen, if your input is a fixed DC voltages, it can be changed to variable frequency fixed voltage by using the step wave semiconductor, or by using the PWM semiconductor we can also change the frequency at variable voltages. But in third case, what we have seen here, the input is a fixed frequency and fixed AC voltage, whereas in first two cases the inputs are DC, right? So cycloconverter is a device which is not coming under this AC to DC drives. It is a next level of your conversion. If input is your AC and we need the variable AC at the output end with variable frequency, then we have to go for the cycloconverter, right? And if the conversion is happening, suppose input is a fixed AC and we need only the variable AC voltage at the output end without changing the frequency. Let us consider our supply frequency is 50 Hz. So input frequency, as it is AC, input frequency is 50, and we need to generate the output voltage at a constant frequency of 50 Hz with different level of your voltages of AC units. Then you can go for directly AC to AC converter that we have discussed previously. AC to AC converters are generally connected to generate the fixed AC voltage into fixed frequency variable AC voltages. This part is your AC to AC converter, and cycloconverter is a device which is also coming under your AC to AC converter. So next class we will discuss what is the function of your cycloconverter, how it is helpful for the conversion of your AC into variable AC, right? So in simple AC to AC converter, we can change the input AC voltage to different values of output AC voltage without changing the frequency. So in AC to AC converter, simple AC to AC converter can change input AC voltage into variable AC voltage without changing the frequency, whereas the cycloconverter can change fixed AC input voltage into variable AC output as well as variable frequency, right? So this is the quality of the device, or this is the capacity of the device. So whenever variable voltage output AC and variable frequency is required, in that case we need to go for this cycloconverter. So this is all about today's class, and next class we will discuss about the next two things, that is your AC to AC converter and DC to DC converter elaborately. Okay, so if you have any doubts, then you can ask me, or you can raise your question in the chat box. And your textbook is ZK Dubey, right? You should collect the textbook in e-format, or you can also purchase from the market, and you should go through the books, right? Thank you.